This is Lansdowne Roar, the voice of the fans. Coming up, Saipan the movie. Also, is John O'Shea set to become Heimer's number 2? Plus, we have the very latest on Irish transfer news. It's Lansdowne Roar. David Dunn here, joined by Martin Prendergast. As always, if you like what you see, love what you hear, scan that QR code, hit that subscribe button, head over to our Facebook, our Instagram, and our Twitter. And if you want opinion, head over to lansdowneroar.ie. That is lansdowneroar.ie. And if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, what are you waiting for? Your life gets better. The food tastes better. The air tastes cleaner. Can you taste air, Martin? Help me here. I don't know what I'm doing. It's too early.
It is early, yeah. No, great to be on, Dave. Yeah, we do appreciate all the listeners and viewers, and yeah, we're growing the YouTube channel, so do subscribe.
Yeah.
It does help us out. Might mean nothing to you, but it does mean something to us. So yeah, we are giving you free content about Irish football, giving you the latest news, and rambling away, nonsensical often, funny sometimes. And yeah, we've just got a genuine love of Irish football, and we're on the up, Dave. We're how many weeks out? 5 weeks out from 5 weeks out from Heimer's debut match.
We are
taking on England, the non-European champions, or champions runners-up. Yeah,
Yep.
They were runners-up, weren't they? We hope Declan will bring the losers' medal to Dublin. We'll give him a parade. That's a bit of a dig, wasn't it? Was that needed? Very early start for that.
You're very cranky. You're having to go with the fans saying, we'll give you free content. Give us a subscribe, you bastards.
Yeah. But anyway, join us as we look forward to Heimer's footballers going to town now. Looking forward to the match coming up. The FAI is trying to sell these tickets, so go for it. Buy the package. We put that in our link. Then we often to kind of help the FAI. I love the FAI, by the way, because the FAI have done me a few favors recently. Paul came over to our embassy gig. We're all friends again, and
at least we're honest about it.
Happening in September with the club, West London. So yeah, look, buy your tickets, support the lads. We're in pre-season mode now. The league starts in a couple of weeks, and we'll see all the boys hitting the ground running. Evan will score the first weekend, and Maida will score up in Scotland at that level. Dig it out Celtic straight away as well, and I'd score up there. Anyway, looking forward to a great season. We've got to be positive, and then Heimer's first squad taking on England.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself there, Martin. Do buy the tickets, do support the boys in green if you can. And we are something we're going to start doing a lot now, more of just putting the link in the description in the video below if you want to get those tickets. I mean, often when you cover Irish football, you sort of nothing really surprises you anymore. But I think yesterday the news, Martin, that broke sort of took me back a little bit, and that is, of course, the news that they're going to make a movie about Saipan. This broke yesterday. I was getting loads of people sending it to me, by the way, and it's hit all the news outlets. But cast announced for upcoming Roy Keane Saipan film. Cast announced for upcoming Roy Keane Saipan film. Basically you're going to have Steve Coogan play. Where is he now? He's going to play. Do you know what? I'm going to do that again. Sorry, that was absolutely fucking shit. So, when you cover Irish football, Martin, nothing really surprises you anymore, does it? But I think yesterday I was taken back a little bit. The most jaded of Irish fans was taken back a little bit with the news that they're going to make a movie about Saipan. It broke yesterday. I was getting loads of messages on WhatsApp from different news outlets, so it's covered all across the place. I'm going to read from the BBC News. Why not? And they have the headline: cast announced for upcoming Roy Keane Saipan film. Mike McBride reports. Anna Hardwick. Is that how you say his name? Is it Yana? Ina? Come on, Martin. You're the Irish names. Ina. That's what he looks like. He's going to play Roy Keane, which I think is perfect.
He was in Normal People, wasn't he? Very good.
Was
I think you
he?
like a bit of normal people, Dave.
No, they're boring.
No, I think you like
Where
some
is
of
he?
it.
He's 27. He's going to play your Roy. He actually is from Cork, so you should be able to get the accent spot on. Just looking here at his Wikipedia page. Um, yeah, he's in Lakelands, The Sixth Commandment, and the Paramount Plus series of The Doll Factory. I don't know. He's also received a British Academy Television Award nomination. So this lad has done quite well. He's been in movies The Eclipse, Vivarium, At Arm's Length, About John Lakelands, The Sparrow, Lamb, William Tell, TV shows The Krypton, Normal People, Smother, um, Fate, The Winged Snagger, Sixth Commandment, The Doll Factory.
You're not his agent, are you?
No,
His
no,
agent?
I just want to give our listeners and viewers, a background because I'm sure a lot of people out there, like yourself, are very precious about Roy, aren't you, Martin? Did
I
you get
am, but I think it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant casting. He looks a bit like him. They're all,
Oh, a bit like him, not fully like him, Martin. No,
No, he does
bet
look.
you want him to be like 7 foot tall, don't you?
He'll
Bit
always
like
be
a brick.
7 foot tall in my head.
Yeah, I know.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's got to be good.
Uh,
Just generally, yeah, that's the cast. And then who's going to be playing Mick?
Mick is going to be played by, and I'm excited by this, Steve Coogan.
Aha! Oh.
Aha! I've met him. I have actually met him. I've met Alan Partridge, as Alan Partridge.
Steve Coogan. Oh right, as Alan
No, no,
Partridge.
no. You see, Martin. You see, you got ahead of yourself. I was trying to explain the situation. You try to make a fool of me, and now you're the one that's going to look the fool as Alan Partridge. Needless to say, no, he was actually as Alan Partridge.
Okay. Well, as
Um,
is before his show.
no, he had a book signing down in
Right,
Brighton because he lives down in Brighton of the Alan Partridge book, and he literally showed up as Alan Partridge in character. And even a lady turned around and said, "Oh, Steve, I love you," and the assistant went, "No, it's Alan. It's Alan."
Very good to be able to do that, yeah.
Yeah, it was cool, and I got him to sign the book, Nomad, which I haven't read because I heard it's shite, but I like Alan Partridge, and yeah, I asked him to, can you sign it for David? And I said, "Oh, King David," like as a joke, and he goes, "David and Goliath," and I got him to sign it for my brother Jer, and he's like, "Grr." So there you go. Yeah, it was brilliant.
No, I mean that is good casting because I'll be honest with you, like
He can
loving
play
as
any
Alan
role.
Partridge. He's fantastic. I mean, the Savile, the Reckoning, unbelievable in that as Jimmy Savile.
Haven't seen it yet.
And
Haven't seen it yet.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
And he's just been he's such a kind of he can do anything, can't he? Serious roles.
He's a genius
Philomena,
actor.
very good. Yeah, and even the viral thing that I love Kevin Kilban shares it often, doesn't he? Of the IRA man singing the rebel songs basically on the show. That's very good.
Oh yeah.
So very versatile. I think he'll get it right, get the accent right. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I know it's not going to be a movie, is it? I don't think. I've read a bit about it, but like, it's not going to be a movie in cinemas and things like that. It's going to be. Is it kind of a bit like? Is it going to be like the kind of Finding Jack Charlton thing? I know it was a documentary, but it's going to be for TV, isn't it?
I'm looking here. Like the film has been directed by award-winning filmmakers Glenn Leyburn and Lisa Barros Dessa. The duo are behind the critically lauded 2013 Irish comedy drama Good Vibrations, which focused on Belfast punk scene pioneer Terry Hooley and his record shop during the Troubles. They said they were delighted to be able to work in the film focusing on an infamous moment in Irish and footballing history. I'm going to get back to that actually in a second, that statement. We're thrilled to be working with the extraordinary cast and creative team to tell the story of an infamous moment in Irish and football history that drew battle lines across a nation, cast its hopes, dreams, and sense of identity into disarray, and briefly made a tiny volcanic island on the Pacific, or in the Pacific, as one of the most famous places on Earth. It's being produced by Wild Atlantic Pictures along with Fine Point Films, who worked on the Kneecap film and Bobby Sands 66 Days. So I don't know. I reckon it's going to be an art house kind of movie. I reckon
That's it, yeah.
It'll probably get a limited release over here. And then it'll probably be mainstream in Ireland because I think a lot of people are going to go to that. And I just want to say, like, I don't know. Listen, I'm not. No, you were over there. Where you probably were in London at the time, but I remember being in Ireland at the time. I'm not putting the boot into you there at all. And yeah, I totally understand why you'd want to make a movie about this because people might, oh, it's only football. No,
Mm.
people were rowing. Like people that didn't have an opinion about football, all of a sudden had an opinion about football. I remember rowing my granddad about it, and I did. And I remember like he loved Mick McCarthy, but he loved Roy King 'cause he was from Cork, and they all stick to the round down there. And yeah, I remember we were round about it, and I thought Roy Keane was bang out of order. At the time, opinion hasn't changed too much on that, to be fair. But that's a discussion for another day. And I remember he kept hitting me with these quotes. I'm like, where the fuck are you getting this from? And only when he died, the following year, my grandfather, that he didn't tell me, the bastard, but he actually had a copy of Roy Keane's book as I see it. So he was like, he's probably going home. He's probably going back to his room going, I'll get him with that one tomorrow.
Yeah.
I brought that copy with me. When we were going through his stuff, I actually took that. And I actually would like to get Roy Keane to sign it and actually tell him the story that my granddad went out and bought it, because you couldn't buy it anywhere. And I had to wait for the second edition to come out because it was sold out.
Mm.
Everybody had to buy this book. So, sorry, I've gone off on a tangent there. But yeah, it is definitely worthy of a movie. It is part of Irish history because, Martin, it tore the country apart thankfully in a non-violent way, but it did. It drew
I think
battle lines.
most people, Irish fans, especially even people in Ireland, will know where they were when they heard, in a way, that Roy Keane had walked out or had
I
left
was
the
on a
Ireland
bus.
World Cup, right? So, yeah, yeah, and obviously I was travelling, and we knew that we had actually a West London meeting, and the transcript of his interview, which then went viral, didn't it? Well, kind of went viral in the extremes of that was the thing that kicked off Mick having a meeting about, well, what about this article, Roy? And there's been rumblings and things, but this was before, before social media and things. People don't remember that, think of that often. And so it was like Sky News and RT News. You were waiting for things. Massive, massive story in Irish football. Like it's probably the biggest. And you know, like from a non-footballing perspective, it wasn't anything on the pitch that had happened. It was in the background that had gone on, and even the repercussions. We still feel it today. Everywhere you go, if you're on an island trip, guarantee you'll have the debate about it, or someone will raise about Roy, and you are either
Yeah.
seen as pro Roy or anti Roy in that argument. So Irish Civil War is what it was called at one stage, and
Yep, the Red
War Two,
Mist.
and and it was yeah, it's an amazing time. And I've seen a lot of people say, "Oh, for fuck's sake, look, why are we? Let's let it go. This is embarrassing that we're obsessed with this." We are obsessed with it. It's a massive, interesting story. You have such great figures as well now. Look, we can talk about it 22 years on, but Roy, what he's become as a kind of public figure, Mick as well, like the elder statesman, absolute legend. Love him. I mean, I've met both of
A
them,
lovely man.
interaction with both of them, can understand it exactly. Mick handles it really, really well now, but I can't wait to see the overlap now, or Gary Neville, because he'll have to be asked about it. And I'm wondering on this production of the side of that I wonder how far along this has gone. I think this is the way I've read this, is that it's kind of, I don't know what angle they're going to take. Is it going to, how they're going to do it? Like a couple of questions I have for it, right, is if I could sit down with the kind of producers, directors of this, would be, who are you going to show is in the right or wrong? Are you going to be very clever and show it that there wasn't a winner, as there wasn't, right? So you're going to show Mick went on and done this because it's a true story, obviously, you're reflecting. And also, are they going to be using kind of real footage and cutting it in with it? Because some films, they kind of sometimes do that, don't they? Like even thinking of the Bobby Sands film and things, you can show kind of rioting and protests and stuff, and you can probably intersperse real footage. Here, you could probably do it the same in a way, because I think people do need to know this story, though.
Yeah, and
Everyone can say, well, Roy Keane walked out, but if you don't really know the full story of it, like we do, and we lived it in a way, you do want to see it. And I know it'd be dramatized, and
I hate
it's gonna be
football
good.
movies because they're normally crap. Like the couple of things that just never get
Well,
right in movies.
Damn United was a big thing. Johnny Giles didn't like it, did he? But he didn't like the book. So
to be fair, I really enjoyed that movie.
Yeah.
That's an exception, but they concentrate more on the stuff off the field. It's just, if you ever watch something like a dramatization of a football match, it's always crap. It looks crap. The way the goalie dives, it doesn't look natural. But look, I hope the producers reach out. I hope they reach out to the likes of myself, to Killian on M2, to yourself, to Declan, people like that that can help with this, to Eddie, Irish soccer shirts, and there is a whole vast array of articles and artifacts out there that people can help with. Footage. Killian would be the perfect person to, with all the news articles and things like that to help with. And they would probably do it for free, just to see this project get off the ground. But yeah, you asked some very good questions. Who would you put as in the right, and who would you put as in the wrong? My opinion has been, I think Roy was completely bang out of order, with the interview, and then like how can you expect, like, you give an interview shitting all over the management, and then you go in and then the manager goes, hold on a second, and then you blow your top because you feel ambushed. You've just ambushed the whole team. Like, it was supposed to be for a Sunday Times, wasn't it? Interview, but it was so explosive that they just
Yeah.
released it the next day.
This
And
this is going to be very interesting, Dave. Though, sorry, like
yeah.
even on the Mick and Roy's reaction, because it brings the two figures to head again. They're going to be asked everywhere now. Now I know Mick's kind of out of the game a little bit. That's the one thing I think. If I'd have been a producer of this and thinking about the idea, I would have been very respectful, Mick McCarthy, and said, "Look, just want to give you the heads up here. I'm sure this has happened. Do you reckon it's happened? Mick, we're going to do this thing about Saipan now. I know you're fed up of it, but we think there's a real public interest in this."
I'm sure they've
And
asked,
and
but
then Mick will handle it very, very well. Roy might be brilliant for it in that he might give you the soundbite of, or Roy could turn around and be completely dismissive of it, and that makes it big. So whatever Roy's reaction will be interesting too. But
well, if I was one of them, I'd be like, look, I am sick of this, but you know what? You're making a movie about it. I want to make sure that I have my side of it as much as possible. The books are there. Roy's book, as I see it, I wouldn't really be using that as a factual historical document. I'm not trying to besmirch the good name of Roy Keane. It's just there's not a lot in there. It's a very bad book. It is a very bad book.
yeah,
The
and
second
he
one,
also did a documentary. Here was a DVD of Keane, wasn't there? That came out at the same time as that, where
yeah,
he's on the beach and he's talking about stuff, and that probably would be a bit more insightful. And I'm sure
that
there's
would
like
be,
a
yeah,
director's
yeah.
cut of that somewhere.
Yeah, no, I think he probably would have given the documentary a bit more because he's sitting there in front of a camera. Roy loves the camera, Martin, as well, as opposed to sitting there with Amy Dunphy in a room. That probably would have bored him actually at the time. Sitting there and sort of chatting away to Amo. Although I think that sounds like a great night in. But no, it's going to be fascinating, and I wonder if Mick or Roy will go to the premiere of it. I'm sure they'll have invitations. To probably neither of them will go to it.
I did see something on this. I think interesting. I think Eddie from Ireland Soccer Shirts, friend of the pod, he did kind of put something up yesterday, just because obviously everyone was chatting about this, and it was that apparently the FAI were approached, could they use the badge from that time by the production team, and the answer was no. So, which I think is strange or something like that. Anyway, because and again that just leads. I don't know, is this early days or is this? I haven't read anything. When's it going into production? These things can turn around quite quick, and a tight shoot as well, as you know. You're in the game, Dave. You're in the game.
Not on the game.
No, but it could be quite quick, and it could just be how they do it and how they interpret it. You don't know. Like, it could just be a cast of two. You wouldn't know how to do it. Like, how are they going to try and cast training sessions when Roy kicks off at Paki Bonner or whatever like that, and cast someone as Paki Bonner. I don't know if that will happen. I think they will have to use the interviews very, very well. And of course, I'm leading you in fantastically well here, Dave, because we have got Mr. David Connolly, who was on World Cup duty for us then.
Yes,
and
we
he
do.
Did reveal about 2-3 months ago that he has got tapes from a video camera back then. That was a recording device rather than your phone back in the day, kids.
Yeah, an actual video camera.
He had a video camera that he was kind of recording the World Cup kind of diary in a sense, for their own kind of use and a bit of crack around the pool. And he kind of has these stock tapes that he said, would be, well, they are gold dust, basically. They're going to show an awful lot. There would have been fallout from the thing pre-meeting, pre-Roy's blow-up, training sessions, footage on the bus, I expect. And David Connolly, very cleverly in response to this, has said they don't have the tapes and has put up a little still with Jason McAteer I think that
Mm?
is, isn't it? And
Yeah,
yeah,
looks like it.
and that's the date on the camera. Again, was 22nd of the 5th, 02.
Yeah, your
And
boy walked out.
that's just oh my, my boy walked out.
Well, your boy walked
Um,
out.
yeah, it's gonna be
And
good. I like, and I think if I was the producer or director of this, I'd be going to David Connolly. What's going on with this? Because what though? David Connolly is a brilliant position now. He could be clever. Let them crack on with this, and then the spin-off of interest with this is the real tapes come,
yeah,
and there you go. And that,
Netflix stock.
yeah, yeah. But that's
Yeah,
gold dust.
David Colley there, you can see he's put up a picture of Danny DeVito or Brad Pitt. Basically, he was going to play him in the movie. Um, I have actually, yeah, whilst we're talking there, I have gone on Iron Soccer shirts, and it's what Eddie had to say about the badge. I'm informed the FAI refused permission for the Saipan film starring Steve Coogan to use in the 2002 to use the 2002 crest in the production. A real shame that Coogan could not get to literally walk in Mick McCarthy's World Cup shoes. And he's got his training gear that he wore in Saipan. Of course, Eddie does. He always bloody does, doesn't he? I mean, you could just you could actually wear that, and then um he could just they could just Photoshop the signature out of it, couldn't they? I think that's terrible. Obviously, the FEI are thinking, "Oh God, this is going to make us look really bad." I think that makes them look very bad that they can't use the FEI logo.
It's
Um, did
That's
you?
it. Really so because you could have this bit side, then go on to John Delaney coming to the episode 2, John Delaney and the report that followed, obviously, and
Yeah,
let the Genesis report. Let's now focus on how they implemented that over the next year. You could do it from a lot of good angles as a documentary, actually, on this. But and Dave, I think it's all happened. I'm going to take credit for this. I'm not getting any money for it, sadly. This is my idea, Dave. Good news, bad news, high profile FAI. This is it. I said they should need to do something behind the scenes thing. It's all happening, Dave. It's all happening. The interest in Irish football is just going to explode, and an opportune time to do it because people are pissed off with Gaelic football being a bit shite, and as a spectacle, they're changing the rules in the football now. And hurling, brilliant, really doing well with that promotion of that Gaelic games, fantastic. But we really need to get our football high profile within the country, and even this bad news, negative kind of thing that happened, part of our history, is something to focus on. And yeah, we need more football, Irish football documentaries and films. We love that. I'm a big fan of those.
yeah, 100%. Especially when it hits so close to home, and there's so much like with Irish football. It's fascinating. You just need I don't know, like a foreign director to kind of look through the the scandals of Irish football and go, oh wow, Night of the Long Knives, we could do that. Oh look at this over here. Oh, how Jack Charlton became Iron manager. That's a story in itself. And
Yeah.
the Saipan, which someone's going to make a movie of finally. The Aircon Park could be a movie. How that went down. There's so much. There's so much to Irish football. The 2019 scandal. What's going on at the moment?
No,
Yeah.
I mean you could even like you got just it's just a fascinating history. It's recording our history. Yeah, it could be dramatized. It's funny. You got big characters, obviously John
Mm.
Delaney and stuff. I mean, who could imagine it just opens up a scene, a James Bond themed birthday. That's probably a bit too far
That's
fetched.
a bit too close. Right, let's move it on. We're going to talk about John O'Shea, which I thought by the time, Martin, this news, it sort of broke, a few days ago on the Irish Examiner, and I thought it would have been it would have been signed, sealed, and delivered, but it hasn't. We're still waiting on it, and that is that your boy, there he is there, John O'Shea. If you're listening, we have it on the YouTube channel where Martin's standing next to John O'Shea, um, as he always does. Probably came out of a big birthday cake. But it was reported in the Irish Examiner a few days ago by John Fallon that he's going to be appointed as Hallgrimsson's Ireland sidekick. The Icelander was eager to retain the Centurion after he assumed caretaker role for the 4 friendly scheduled between Stephen Kenny's exit and appointment on July 10th. He will be shortly confirmed as his assistant after mulling over the offer from the new Ireland boss. What has it? And then it goes on through all the different bits and pieces. Hasn't happened yet, Martin. I'm surprised by that. That
Yeah,
I'm
I can't be. I wouldn't believe he's playing hardball on the
You are?
negotiation contract kind of stuff. But the only thing that would kind of worry me a little bit now is if they're ever thinking about this progression plan. And is he part of his contract? Is he saying he wants to be considered for the senior role in when he's out of contract, basically, Heimer? And that's the only thing. And I hope they don't go down that route for John O'Shea's sake and also Heimer's sake. And I think it's not needed this day and age. But it would be contractual talks, and then obviously working out with the backroom stuff as well. I've got no problem at all with the likes of Glenn Whelan coming in there and as a coach. All right, he's been part of the FAI pathway. So too did John O'Shea go through that. Paul McShane, Myler, they've all gone through this as well recently. There's a reason that the FAI are looking at they're putting in place their pathway, but also their coaching courses, and they are great, fantastic reputation for these as well. But you have to promote from within, I think, and use that knowledge of experienced players like Glenn Whelan, right? So, and people say, well, he's inexperienced, he's only worked with kids. I would, refute that completely, because that if you look at Spain, who just won the Euros, that guy hasn't worked, I don't think, with any clubs or anything. He's come through underage levels, worked with that, had that continuity with those age groups coming through. And I think that's equally important as having a big name manager who can tactically sort people out on the big days. That you do have that kind of close contact with someone they trust and can look up to. Glenn Whelan, over 100 caps. So too, John O'Shea. You've got to be looking at them people and having them involved.
I think
They
it
bring
also
and being a part of the camp.
it also helps with younger players as well, that you got somebody that you can relate to a little bit. Like if you're a young Irish lad, it's good to have some somewhere. You might be a bit intimidated if you're not used to being around people from different backgrounds, and it just kind of helps, like that bit of familiarity, easy for me to say as well. I mean, I thought it really helped when I remember Trapp. Of course, he was our first foreign manager, wasn't he? And Liam Brady was the go between the players and him. It's just good to have that kind of that sort of link.
And let's not forget, though, that was difficult for Liam, like, coming in, because he'd been on media punditry duty,
slagging off the players.
Yeah, well, moaning about players and
Yeah.
giving his honest opinion. But it's football. It's such a clicky little world, but they just move on. They don't really give a shit about these comments and stuff. Yeah, unless it's very scathing and you really take it to heart, then you can pull that pundit aside. And
It's personal. Then it's different. Yeah, you can slag out my performances, but don't like slag me off as a person. Then that's.
Like Roy Keane said, he went a bit too far this year, didn't he, with Harry Maguire and stuff? I've got to get Roy Keane in here again, Dave, because you're them off a little bit too much on this one. But I think you have to. I think I like the continuity. I like, again, it may well be jobs for the boys, but why don't we look after our lads? Like, why don't we promote our lads as
continuity?
Coaches?
Yeah,
Yeah.
all
Promote
about
them as coaches and promote them, the players, as their profiles and things like that. So I'm really looking forward to this season, because I think we've got some massive games coming up in the next season. We've got a new manager. I think it's a time to be positive, and I'm Mr. Positive with the pod, but I'm really looking forward to it. Got fantastic, lots of things going on. We have the podcast as well, of course, and with the YouTube channel, building that. We've got a lot of plans, haven't we, Dave, for the latter part of the year? We've got some events we're involved in, which are really proud to be involved in and delighted, and we're doing lots of stuff.
Absolutely,
So
loads
follow
coming.
us and make sure that you are supporting us.
Loads coming this year. Also, last little bit we could talk about is the Irish players before we move it on, Martin. Of course, the big news is that Jake O'Brien currently is undergoing a medical at Everton, and I think they're just waiting for the results of that. But that is probably going to be announced some point later today. Actually, £17 million. But yeah, Sky Sports News noted yesterday that he was currently undergoing a medical. So great moves there. I think that's a really good move for him. I think he'll suit, John Dyche. He's Sean Dyche, 6'6", centre back, big lad, tidy on the ball. He's not Virgil van Dijk levels on the ball, but he's tidy on the ball. He's okay on the ball. Yeah, I think it's a really good move for the lad. Quickly.
Yeah, very good. Happy as well that he'll be there with Seamus Coleman, getting the last year of Seamus. Well, we say last year, but he will be guided. It's going to be good for Irish football that they're there together. It's exciting times for Everton. They struggled last few years, but that financial and all the stuff going on in the background with the ownership has all been a bit of a muddle. They sort that out, moving to a new stadium. They're going to be up and coming again. They will be a decent side, and I like the fact that Dyche will be very solid and supportive of him. And I think, it's fantastic for us, because he'll play week in, week out for them.
He will there.
Braithwaite will probably go now. A lot of speculation with him. Or if they can keep Braithwaite with him, wow, what a good centre back pairing it will be. And I don't want him going there as backup. I want him there playing.
No, I mean West Ham were kind of looking at it, but I think they're looking for Champions League level players. Like they're trying to move to the next level. Also, just a bit of news here from Republic of Ireland player tracker friend Connor over there. Do give him a follow. Rep tracker. Hellas Verona and Fiorentina are trying to swoop in for Adamaida. With the team, sorry, with the deal to Celtic at a standstill. And he goes on to say, crazy to think Celtic haven't paid what Norwich are asking for yet after scoring 9 goals and is a cult hero in Glasgow. So, yeah, you touched on it earlier, Martin. Doesn't look like he's going to Glasgow Celtic. It looks like he could be going to Italy.
Well, I think he'll get sorted at Celtic, though, and they'd be a bit mad to let him go now. Their season only starts next week, I think. So, yeah, I would think that might get done. This might just be help to push that. But yeah, like I said about the players, I mean, we haven't really. Sammy Schmodic's, lots of speculation about him, perhaps Ipswich.
Leicester. Oh, sorry, yeah, Ipswich.
Yeah, Ipswich. And then you've got Sinclair Armstrong. We got the move for him. Well, I said we got the move, and he scored within 40 odd seconds in his debut. So that's brilliant to see. And yeah, look, we've got to be following these lads, supporting them. I'm really excited to see Evan Ferguson now. I think if he's back, he will do very, very well. New manager to impress there.
He scored a goal, didn't he?
Ready to pick this name off the floor, but I was out with Liam Brady obviously last week, as I've said countless times. Had a chat with him. Did ask him, was he going to be? Did he catch up with Evan? And he gave a nice story of that. He used to play with Evan's dad years ago in football and back in Dublin, St. Kevin's boys together and things like that. And he said, yeah, he's looking forward to seeing what Evan can do, and he keeps in touch with him to kind of, I like that as well. I've seen Packy Bonner around the squad, our Irish squad now. He's a director, obviously the FAI, but you see him kind of chatting to the lads, saying, you go back now, hit the ground running, focus on your football, because they know it will bring a lot to us. And I still believe Evan Ferguson is the one going to come in through for us, that he's going to be spearheading our attack for many years to come, and needs a bit of trust and faith from the managers and us as fans.
Of course, we always have bloody trust and faith in it. Anyway, we're going to leave it there, Martin. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for watching at home. And of course, as always, if you like to see, love what you hear, scan that QR code, head over to our Facebook, Instagram, and our YouTube channel. And if you want opinion, head over to lansdowneroar.ie. That is lansdowneroar.ie. I'm David Dunn. He's Martin Prendergast. We're out of here. Good night and God bless.